So those in the know about jazz say the music has a dynamic way of getting under your skin to move you emotionally and physically. So in the South African context, jazz had a role in the social and cultural politics of the country. So next weekend, the University of KwaZulu-Natal's Centre for Jazz and Popular Music will feature a blend of jazz performances. Today's guest is set to participate in that event. His performances have reached audiences worldwide, reflecting his dedication to promoting and preserving African musical heritage. To discuss this jazz music further, of course, Sibusiso Mash Mashiloane, who is a South African pianist, composer, of course, and educator known for his expertise in blending African music traditions with jazz. And he joins me live now in studio. In fact, he's joining us via Teams. But Sibusiso, thank you very much indeed for your time. We really do appreciate it. So, I mean, we always talk about jazz and how it has the effect to even dictate what my mood is going to be like. So, how do we preserve, this African musical heritage when we look at this kind of music in the definition of jazz?
I think, greetings to all the viewers. By nature, jazz is a way that has allowed, it is a music that has actually allowed us to preserve in its practice, For example, here at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, we ensure that as part of our teaching, we incorporate localized musical materials, localized people and localized traditions in the music, in the curriculum, and we prioritize that, I guess this is one of the ways, because even we as staff in our compositions, we incorporate the traditions and the cultural traditions that is actually symbolizes the communities where the music comes from, because for us that's one of the fundamental ways in which we can acknowledge and preserve the heritage that the music has and the heritage that our culture has.
And, in the past, if we look at jazz in its context and the critical role it also played, in part of the music that was delivered in particular during apartheid, anti-apartheid struggle songs, which, raised the consciousness. And because music travels worldwide, even through music, what was happening in South Africa at the time, was even, the messaging was even in the music that was being delivered at the time. What kind of messaging are we seeing now? Given that, for example, South Africa has transitioned into a democracy, is there a new cry for something? Or because jazz has always played that part?
Yeah, I'm glad that you're actually noting that, because that is the essence of jazz. Jazz is always, like you have said, an expressional music. But the nice thing about it is that it expresses people in their communities. It expresses the time in which people are experiencing. For example, right now, people are turning to themselves, are turning to their gifts, be it from the spiritual perspective. If we listen to even the guys down that are writing this music and performing this music, they are turning to self, and they are turning to their communities in ways that they actually, just yesterday I was in Cape Town, with the UCT ensemble, and I was just seeing how they express Guma, how they express the current traditions that they are exposed to. Similar as here in the University of KwaZulu-Natal, people are now turning to dance, So which means it is a continuation of what the music in essence has to offer. It is an expression of self and communities. And more so now, it leans so much to the spiritual element as well as the traditional music.
And some would think that jazz is loved by much older people, but I've really seen over the past couple of years a growing interest from young people when it comes to listening to jazz. You know, a great number of youth have that interest in jazz. Where do we think that stems from? You know, because often when people talk about young people, they often talk about, you know, them listening to other genres, which I don't want to mention. But, you know, the jazz that has now inspired young people.
We've got Kujenga, which is the youngest jazz band from Cape Town. You know, that one has got the youngest, which is the current, you know. And that band, for example, symbolizes that people, even including young people, I don't know where this perception of jazz being for the older people, where it began, you know, because I'm young, I believe, you know, and I'm here at the University of KwaZulu-Natal teaching young people who want to express themselves, you know, and it is only jazz that they can authentically express themselves, you know, because this has nothing to do with computing. They're just going to sit on the piano and experience themselves, experience their talents and experience their gifts, you know, and that is what jazz in essence is allowing for, you know, and I don't know where the age started, you know, but I think that was a robbery, you know, and that is a robbery because I deal with young people every day in our institutions, and young people want to express themselves. These boxing, these genre boxing, no, it's not working. You know,
what is it
because,
and what is it as a
jazz,
lecturer?
in essence, is allowing.
Absolutely. Sorry to interject there, but you did mention that you're a lecturer in music. And I mean, what is it about jazz that resonates with these students? That'll be very interesting to hear.
It's expression, you know, it's improvisation, you know, it's functioning from the world that is not prescribed, you know. Young people want to explore, and jazz is allowing for exploration, you know. Young people want to break all the constructs, you know, the colonial constructs, you know, and jazz is allowing for that, you know. Young people want to zoom closer to their being, and jazz is allowing for that, you know. It is time, I mean, you know, our youth, they just want to break all the rules, you know, because the rules of injustice, you know, the rules of the socialization that is not for the best of humanity, you know. And now this generation is tapping into that world, and I think it is our duty, even as a little bit older people, to allow them to express themselves. And jazz, that's why even here at the UKZN, we've got this annual music festival, which is going to be annual, which is a collaboration of all the genres and all the musics, you know, has nothing to do with the boxing. There's going to be pop, there's going to be African music and dance. We all going to be expressing ourselves through music, including the jazz jolt. You know, it's all about expressing ourselves. I think these jazz label so much, it has that tendency to suggest that it's for other people. No, it is an expressional music. It is an improvisational music that every humanity would like to participate in.
Sibusiso Mashiloane, thank you very much, sir. We do appreciate your time. Great conversation, of course, on jazz and how young people, of course, very interested.